Kelly, if I was less fruitful, would you be less patient?
Yes.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to part 2 of my POV street photography series in Mexico City. Now in today's video, we're going to try something new. Rather than breaking it up into POV section followed by tutorial section, like my last video, I'm actually going to intersperse myself talking in between each scene so I can give you tips on what to look for, showing you the strategies I used, how you can use them yourself, and why they're so effective. So let me know in the comments how you enjoyed this strategy, and let's get this video going. Starting off, in the next clip, you're going to see an example of me overstaying my welcome. Now, typically, street photography is a non-consensual experience. You take a candid photo of someone, they might not even realize you took the shot without their permission, and then you move right along. Yet if you ask someone for their photo, they're gonna smile, you're gonna get a cheesy portrait, and it is no longer a street photo by any means. However, I have a great strategy that I like to use that's perfectly consensual, yet still a street photo and still candid energy. So what I like to do is ask people if I can take their photo. Sometimes I say that directly, other times they see my camera and notice me shooting them, I smile, they smile back, and it is an implicit nonverbal contract that it's okay to be doing what I'm doing. Now, either way, once you get someone's permission to take their photo, you overstay your welcome. So rather than taking 1 or 2 shots as they might expect, you hang around for 2, 3, maybe even 10 minutes, to the point at which they completely forget you're there. So once you're there for long enough, you just blend it into the scene and they begin to act natural again. So you're now taking candid photos of them, they have given you full approval, and it's a very positive interaction for everyone. Finally, when you're done shooting, ask for an email so you can send them the photos. They're always very appreciative. Now, in this next scene where you're gonna watch all this play out, I did cut it down so it's quicker, but I was shooting this family for a good 4 or 5 minutes, trying a bunch of different composition techniques until I got the shot that I wanted. Check it out. ¿Puedo tomar una foto?
¿Qué van a hacer con ese gordito?
Muchas gracias. Yo envías la foto a tú.
Ah, ok.
¿Qué su email?
Ajá.
¿Qué tal? Tú.
¡Bravo!
¿Y? Tú. ¿Sí?
Este es el email.
Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.
Echamos ganas y todo. Bonito. Muchas gracias.
¿Qué tal? Voy a hacer una foto de...
Tómale foto bien al muchacho.
For this next scene, I've actually made a graph to answer a question I've been pondering lately, and that is it photojournalism? So just to briefly describe how this graph works, we've got 3 different types of photography: street, photojournalism, and portraiture, and this is the visualization of how they overlap. So there is oftentimes examples when photojournalism and street overlap, and that is the consensual candid. That's like when you're hanging around, you become part of an environment, you're welcome, but all the photos are still candid. Then we've got the overlap between street and portraiture. That is the non-consensual portrait. You can still take portraits in street photography, but oftentimes without the person giving you approval to do so. the non-consensual portrait. Then we have the overlap between portraiture and photojournalism, and that is just a huge overlap when you embrace the press. Lots of photojournalism involves portraiture and vice versa. And lastly, we have the center of this diagram, and I think that TMZ, or paparazzi, actually satisfies all of these different types of photos because they are candid, they are telling the story of these celebrities' lives, and they very well might be taking portraits. So at the end of the day, TMZ is maybe the holy grail of street portraiture and photojournalism, or maybe complete trash that is worth ignoring for the rest of your life. I'll let you be the judge on that one, but I will leave you with this next scene that is nothing like TMZ. ¿Puedo tomar una foto de las reflexiones? ¿Está aquí? Muchas gracias. La lume está, o la sol está bella. La foto de la reflexión de la sol y la coche.
¿Está tomando fotos a la camioneta? Sí, a la camioneta.
Está así, así. In this next scene, I have a great opportunity to talk about rejection. I think this is really important when you're taking someone's photo, whether you're asking beforehand or just going for it. People are gonna get mad at you. People are gonna ask you not to take their photo. And my best advice I can give to you on this is take it in good spirits. Smile and walk away, laugh it off, de-escalate the situation if you have to, apologize if you need to, keep things calm, respectful, and easygoing. Lately, I've received some YouTube comments from viewers suggesting that if someone is rude to them when they're shooting street, they dish it right back and are very rude to their subjects. Now, I can't recommend against this enough. This is so disrespectful and so unnecessary. If someone is angry and doesn't want you taking the photo, the situation is not going to get any better. However, it can get a lot worse. So if you are rude and disrespectful out of this weird sense of spite or self-destructiveness, it's going to make the situation worse. You can escalate, you can get people angrier, and this is going to give you a bad name. It's going to give street photographers a bad name, and there's nothing to be gained here. So be respectful, be kind, even if the person is a complete jerk, keeping calm. ¿Puedo tomar su foto? No problema. ¿Cómo estás? Muchas gracias. Next off, let's talk about the still life street photo. Now, I think about street photography and all types of photography like a layer cake. You take your foundation layer, the first thing that makes you want to take a photo, and then you look around and think, what can I add to this shot? So it might be seeing a beautiful scene and then adding another layer, waiting for another person to come through, or adding another layer, finding an additional compositional element to frame it through. You can keep adding on to these things until a photo is so multi-layered and complex, it's hard not to be fascinating. Other times you want to lean into one compositional element because that is strong enough to carry the entire photo. So when I initially found these beautifully lit bananas, I thought, let's try and find some person walking through and frame it up in an interesting way. But I had a very hard time with it. Besides one shot, which you'll see in a second, I realized that the bananas were strong enough to make a couple of still lifes out of. And that's what I pursued doing. I don't typically shoot still lifes, but if you do not like talking to people or being confronted, maybe street still lifes are your perfect style. So I just want to introduce you to that style. Enjoy the scene. Y todos. Gracias. Sí. Gracias.
Sí. ¿Le doy bolsita de azúcar? Buenas tardes. Sí, ya tenemos. Sí. Ahora ya lo taparon. Igualmente, cuídese mucho. No, la primera. ¿Te estorbó?
Sí, bueno, todo está bien.
Oh, muchas gracias.
Está en Plaza.
This next technique is one of the best techniques in the entire world, and I might be using it at all times, even when I think I'm not, and that is the dumb tourist angle. Now, people are intimidated by a professional street photographer going out to take these intense photos of strangers. However, the naive tourist who's wandering around just trying to take some vacation pictures is a lot harder to hate, or to hate for the same reason. You can hate them as a tourist, but you're not going to hate them for taking these photos. And when you act a little bit clueless or you look a certain way, this can work to your advantage. So don't be afraid to lean into this at times, and it helps you get away with certain shots. One way I use this technique throughout the entire video, besides looking like the dumb tourist that I was, is my Spanish skills. My Spanish is not that great, and when people hear that, they consider me to just be a naive tourist taking vacation pictures, and it's not a bad thing to lean into. Versus in the US, if someone hears my English, they might want to question my motives and hear what I'm doing, but when they hear my Spanish, they know that they cannot do that with me, and so they have to either take it or leave it, and because I seem so unthreatening, they're more likely to take it. I'm not saying you should replace your entire wardrobe with Hawaiian shirts, but I'm not saying you shouldn't. Anyway, enjoy these next scenes from a different market.
Kelly, if I was less fruitful, would you be less patient?
Yes.
If you assessed what I was shooting, you're like, this is dumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. This little crevice here has some interesting potential. I don't know what yet, though. 3 minutes? Well, that bus could be nice. ¿Qué tal? Right? Hold on. This could still be something. ¿Qué tal?
The last technique I want to talk about in this video, and this is one that I use throughout the entire video, and that is waiting. A lot of these photos I shot were taken because I posted up in one location with good lighting, found a nice composition, and just waited for an interesting moment to come on through. That's how 95% of these photos were taken, and it's a great way to avoid having to confront your subjects or have any sort of conversations. I talk a lot more about this in part 1 of this video, so I'm not going to go into it, but enjoy these final scenes and see how waiting can pay off if you're in the right place at the right time.
Ah, muchas gracias.
And that is that. Let me know in the comments how you like this video. If you prefer more 360 content, more tutorial content, you like this marriage between the two in this format, I would love some feedback on this. Additionally, be sure to check out part 1 of this Mexico City POV series for more POV, obviously, and a tutorial on being a shy photographer, which works great for shooting in your home city or in a foreign city where you don't know the language and want to avoid conversation with people you don't know how to talk to. So definitely check out that video. Link to that is right over here and in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for more videos, and I will see you eventually, or hopefully in next week's video.